Hey, Lindsay Banks here, psychic medium, intuitive channeler and spiritual entrepreneur. I wanted to speak today about levels of consciousness. So if you have already heard of the 3D, 4D and 5D, awesome. If you haven't, then you want to stay tuned because you will want to find out what these different levels are and why they are important right now. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, then please do so. Please give it a like and subscribe and share this with your friends. So I also have on my channel the spiritual journey where I speak to others who have been through their own stuff and have come out the other side and are now helping others on theirs. I also do my energy readings every Monday, so you can come in and see what's coming up this week. So for now, let's go into the levels of consciousness and why you need to know them. So during this pandemic, whilst many of us are being forced to spend time alone or self-isolate or be with family, which may be for the longest time you've done in a while, some of us may go through what is also known as a dark night of the soul. So I do have another video out on the dark night of the soul, so if you feel that that's something you are going through, then do go and watch that. Now, in terms of consciousness, in the spiritual realm, many of us have been aware that there was going to be this mass awakening for a while, but we weren't sure exactly how it was going to manifest. So if you think there are different dimensions, okay, so there are currently 12 states of dimensional consciousness, okay, or levels of consciousness. So the main ones currently on Earth are 3D, 4D and 5D. So depending on which dimension you're currently living in will depend on how you perceive the world, okay? So I'm going to give you some examples so you can see where you are right now. Please bear in mind that wherever you are right now is where you need to be, okay? So don't think that because you're on the 5th dimension, you're going to get brownie points or anything like that, yeah? You are where you are meant to be right now, okay? So do bear that in mind. Okay, so in terms of 3D consciousness, so you may view things as being physical, okay? So everything is made from a material, and if you can't see it and you can't touch it, then it isn't real, okay? You might see that life is a competition and you judge people based on the way that they dress, the car that they drive, the smartphone they have. It's a bit like, you know, with the keeping up with the Joneses. And that phrase, isn't it, where it's like, oh, they used to buy something, so you would have to have it like, I don't know, maybe like a hot tub in your garden is like the latest status symbol. It's like, oh, do you not have a hot tub in your garden? Anyway, so it's around judgment and perception of how you see others. Things or events that happen are perceived as good or bad, right or wrong. You don't believe that your thoughts can change your reality, so if something happens, you put it down to a coincidence. Money and social status are high priority for you. You have no desire to go within yourself and look at things from anyone else's point of view. And you don't believe that there's enough for everyone in the world. So you don't believe there's enough money or food, and you believe that resources are finite. Okay? Now, for myself, I was very much in the 3D stuff, yeah, when I used to work in retail. You know, I thought that climbing up the career ladder was the best thing to do, and I just wanted to earn more money so I could do more stuff and have more fun and more experiences, etc. And then what happens is, so if you're in this 3D space at the minute, yeah, that's absolutely fine, no judgment. You may find over the coming sort of months or weeks that you may start to think, actually, there is more than money, social status, etc. So the next stage is the 4D level or 4D consciousness, okay? Now, I describe this often to people as it's a bit like no man's land, okay? It's that period of time where you still sort of want to be in the 3D world because that's comfortable and secure and that's how it's always been and how you've always done things. But you're starting to move towards this other space of love and light, and you're just not sure. There's this pull between the two opposites. So the 4D is seen as a path or a journey towards the 5th dimension. So you might start by changing your eating habits. So for me, I think it was last summer, I ate a piece of chicken. I just said, I can't eat chicken anymore. I can't eat meat. I'm done. That's it. You might start to meditate. You might start to do a bit of yoga. So you might start to dabble in some different things that you know are good for your mental health or in terms of your life. And it's just sort of, you're just starting to get your interest piqued, I would say. So you might have started to believe that there is more, like there's something more than just this, as in just this life. Just see what else. Hold on. I'm reading these from, I've written these all down in my second book, so when I finally finish it, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, you'll be able to read all about it. You might start to think more about your impact on the environment, so about that connection with Mother Earth, reducing your plastic, recycling, using the car less. Many of us have to use our car less at the minute, but you start thinking about the impact as an individual that you have on the earth and the environment. You might want to start, or you want to find your purpose and follow your dreams. So you start thinking about, why am I here? What is the point of my existence? Yeah, which are big questions, to be asking. But through doing the meditation and starting to sort of dip into all these different things, you'll start to get more ideas coming. So your intuition will start to grow and expand as well. And you may be looking for a deeper meaning to life and the universe. So during this 4D time, it is a process. So some people in the spiritual world call this up-leveling. So when you're moving from one level to the next, generally it doesn't all happen at once. It's not like a race. It's not something you have to whiz through. It is a process, and it does take time, because whilst you're going through this and asking yourself all these questions and meditating or doing yoga, what happens is you start to shed these old beliefs and perceptions that you've had of living in the 3D world, and your perception is changing. So there may be tears shed. I've never cried as much as what I have going through my own spiritual journey. I just kept thinking, oh my days, these tears keep coming, and sometimes they're gut-wrenching sobs, and sometimes it's like just a few tears. But you will start to find that you may be crying more, and you may be thinking, why am I crying so much? But it's because the tears are releasing pent-up emotions that have been held in from this belief that, I can't cry, or whatever beliefs or perceptions you have around that. So the 4D bit is definitely, it's a difficult bit to get through. It's not a race, there's no point trying to rush to the finishing line, because you won't necessarily have all the tools that you need in place to do that, okay? Then we'll have the 5D, which is the consciousness level where we are heading towards right now. So once you get to this 5th dimension, it's very difficult to start to go back to your 3D life, because your perception of life has changed. You have a greater understanding, a wider perspective, I want to say, on where you are now. You understand the connection and oneness of life. So with that, I mean the connection with not only Mother Earth, like I talked about before, but with the universe, with the stars, with the planets, with the moon. So and with the, I want to say, like with the cyclical rhythms of life as well, you start to become more in tune with those. There's no good or bad when an event occurs, it just is. You understand that there's a higher purpose at work. So when I'm doing work, I call it with upstairs, the universe, source, but you can choose whatever name you want to have for it. Yeah, there's something up there which knows more than what you do. And when we're in the 3D as well, we can very much be sort of in our ego, thinking that we know best, we know everything. Yeah, so to surrender, and that's a big part of the 4D, doing the 4D work. When we start surrendering, then I forgot where I was going now. Oh yeah, when we start surrendering to the fact that there is something out there that is greater than us, and trusting in it, it really helps us to move along this 5D, or be in this 5D level, okay? You have stronger feelings of love connection, so with others. So in terms of not only feeling love for your close family or your friends, but having this unconditional love for everyone. And it's a really strange feeling to have when you're not used to feeling that love. And again, going through that 4D process and getting to this 5D level is around learning to love yourself and having self-love for yourself as well, which again is a massive process. But when you come through it, like I said, you feel love for everyone. Yeah. And it's because you've got self-love, you have that stronger feeling of love for others. You have no judgment of others, so they basically walk their path in their way and you do it your way. You see everyone as equal regardless of their social status in the world. So we're seeing that coming to fruition at the minute during the pandemic, because for many who were deemed as having a low social status, you know, cleaners, supermarket workers, bin men, people who have been deemed in society to not be paid more because what they do is being deemed as being low level, yeah. It's like it's been flipped on its head. So at the minute, they're the ones who are at the front line of what's going on. The nurses, the doctors, you know, the bin men, cleaners, supermarket workers. They're the ones who are helping society right now, which is interesting. Your purpose in life is to live in joy and truth. There's no competition, and you understand that there is an infinite amount of resources for everyone. Okay, so there is enough. It's just that we've been told that there isn't beforehand, and that's why we've had these massive disparities between the rich and the poor. Your intuition becomes very strong as well in the 5D level. So these are your 3 levels of consciousness, and like I said, you know, you are exactly where you need to be right now. Everyone's path is different and everyone's journey is unique, okay? So have that awareness that there are these different levels, and when you're going through from the 3D towards the 5D, it may feel painful, you may feel sadness, you may feel tears, yeah, all of which are perfectly normal because you're shedding old stuff, okay? So if you think of like a snake shedding its skin, yeah, it doesn't do it like that. It takes time. I keep saying process, it's annoying me, but it takes time for that snake to shed its skin, and it's the same with us human beings, okay? I always compare my story to that of the tortoise and the hare, where it's taken so long. Do you know what I mean? I started this journey back in 2002 initially, but I had my dark night of the soul in 2017. So it's taken me the last 2.5 years to get to this space where I am. Okay, so I wish you all well on your journey. If you've got any questions or you need any support whilst you are going through this, then do reach out. I'll put my details below. Please do give this a like and subscribe. And if you've got any friends who you think will benefit from seeing this video, then do share with them as well. Okay, see you soon.